and welcome back to my channel. I am finally recording again. Last week I was only able to post up one video, which I had pre-recorded a week ago. I got so extremely sick. I'm hoping that you guys can't hear it in my voice, but it's still kind of there. It was actually my spring break all last week. I had so many plans of filming so many videos for you guys, and I ended up getting sick the entire week. This video is kind of like an updates video, I feel. It's gonna be what I ended up actually keeping in my collection that is in top shelf, the ones that I use every day or use the most, and the ones that just really ended up being kind of my regret that I don't actually enjoy anymore. I'm not reaching for it. There's several different reasons as to why. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. My first favorite is the Physicians Formula The Healthy Foundation. I have the shade LC1. I believe this was $17.99 when I first picked it up. However, you can find this product at Ulta for $12.99 or Walmart for I think it's around $11.87, I think their website said. So it kind of varies depending on the store, what the price is, so just kind of try to feel out where you think you can get the best price and go from there. So this foundation has become my absolute favorite staple foundation. I reach for this on the daily. If I'm not filming, I'm not trying anything else out that's new, this is the one that I go for. I find that it is the most beautiful coverage. It gives you such a kind of lightweight feel. It doesn't feel like you have foundation on just kind of caking up your face. It just feels really natural, and that's kind of what I love to wear on my everyday. I don't like to go overly full coverage every single day. I like something that makes me look kind of natural and, like, I guess, you know, healthy looking. And I would say it's definitely more of a kind of medium coverage, and even with that, it does help cover all of my blemishes up. I may just top it a little bit with a little bit of concealer. And with my oily skin type, I do not see any oiliness trying to poke through until about the 7-hour mark, which 7 hours is not bad. If I need to keep wearing it a little bit longer, I will just blot my face a little bit, set a little bit of powder on top, and I will be good to go. This foundation has absolutely knocked out all of my other foundation. It is top shelf. Use it, love it. Would highly, highly recommend you guys going to check this one out. The next item I have, this one I never did a video on, but this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Fair number 5. It also retails for only $5. So this concealer I have been using for several months now. This one has been my favorite. It gives you such beautiful full coverage. I love to use it for kind of highlighting and contouring, you know, when you really want to brighten up the face. This one is great for it, and I'm so happy that I decided to roll out a bunch more shades of the concealer. It was kind of a limited selection. I ended up going with the lightest one that they had at the time, which ended up really working out because it does oxidize. I'd say it oxidizes about like 2 shades, but for me this concealer is an absolute win. It feels great on the skin. It does not feel overly cakey. It does not feel overly dry, and it completely covers all of my blemishes. I will not see anything after I put it on. It will cover all of it. The next item on my favorites is actually 2 items I'm going to pair together. The first item is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light Bronzer. This one retails for $14.95. The second bronzer is the Makeup Revolution Large Bronzer in Natural. This one retails for $5. I decided to throw these two together to give you guys 2 different options. Now, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer I've been loving for over a year now. I have hit pan on this baby. I use it all the time. It is absolutely stunning. The new one that came to play was the Makeup Revolution one, and this one became a favorite because of the shade range. This is the color Natural, and it is so much more lighter than light bronzer, which can be a huge benefit if you are trying to find a bronzer that does not go muddy on you, because sometimes it is very easy to go kind of dark very quick if you have very pale skin. And this one you are able to go very light, and it looks absolutely stunning. I absolutely fell in love with this bronzer when I started to use it. They do have a lot more variations in shade, and I do have to say that it blends beautifully, it wears beautifully, it's long wearing for both of these items. But I wanted to give you guys both of these because they are absolutely great bronzers in which I love. Now the reason I want to compare these two is because of the value in which you get. This one is $15 and you get 0.38 ounces or 11 grams. Inside of the Makeup Revolution one, it's $5. You get 0.07 ounces or 2 grams. So there is quite a difference. It looks like it is the same size almost in the product you get there, but I'm guessing this pan is just a little bit deeper than this one. And just in comparison, so you kind of get an idea, if you wanted the same amount of the Makeup Revolution as the Physicians Formula, you would have to buy 5 of these bronzers in order to equal one of these. That is $25 in comparison to $15. So it really depends on kind of how much you want to spend right then and there. $15 is kind of a lot for a bronzer, but you do get more product. $5 you can kind of spend, you know, just here and there, but you will run out of product faster than you run out of this one. Next up, I have the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel. This one retails for $9.99. I have the shade Blonde. Since I first reviewed this one about a month ago, I have not been able to stop using this product. It is such a huge benefit to be able to have brows that kind of last longer than one day. It takes forever for me to be able to do my eyebrows because I basically have no eyebrow hair to begin with. It is very thin. I have to completely do a full-on shaping of my brows to make it look like I have some. And if you are constantly on the go, you have to get ready really early. I feel like this is such a great item to be able to use. Now the only thing is, to get this one to stay really long, you do have to be kind of careful when you are washing your face as to not use any oil cleansers and to not really scrub at your eyebrows, and to make sure when you hop out of the shower as well, you pat dry your face. You don't go and just kind of like wipe a towel all around. You need to be kind of gentle, otherwise it is not really going to stick as well. But I also feel like it is so easy to be able to use this product. It is not difficult to kind of maneuver around. You are able to remove some of it if you do happen to mess up. It's not going to completely, you know, stay messed up the entire day. You are going to be able to move around the product a little bit. But once it is set and once it's like locked into place, you will be good for the rest of the day. I have had moments where I have accidentally touched my face and my eyebrow is halfway gone at that point. It is the worst thing in the world when that happens, when half your eyebrow has just disappeared and you don't know what to do. This has been such a lifesaver. I've accidentally touched my face multiple times and I have had no issues. It stays put all day long. And if you have somewhere to go, I would highly recommend checking this out in case you don't want to have an accidental brow mishap. And the very last item on my favorites list is the Contour Palette by Profusion. This palette retails for $4.99, or at least where I picked it up at Marshall's. I fell in love with this palette when I tried it. It is such a beautiful range of colors in which you get in here. You get 2 shades to contour, which are cool toned, and you get 1 warm tone, which you can actually use as a bronzer, which is what I do when I tested it out in my first impressions video. It blends out beautifully, it wears all day long, it is such a great contour shade and variety. The only thing I do want to mention is that this brightening powder, I would not use it to set underneath your eyes. I have tried that and my concealer creased like crazy, and it never creases. So I would only use this to brighten up the face and kind of give it a little bit more light. But even then, for the price, you get so many shades in here that it's absolutely worth it. That concludes the favorites part of this video, and these are all items in which I am not able to put down. Since I have tested them, I reach for them every single day. These are such beautiful products, and I would highly recommend you guys checking any of those out. I absolutely love them, and I have absolute no regrets about purchasing them. Which leads me into the second part of this video, which is my regrets and fails. The very first fail items are actually 3 items. These are the Megaliner Metallic Liquid Eyeliners from the Gothographic collection. Each one of these retails for $3.99. Now, if you saw my video on the entire gothographic collection, you know that there was a whole lot more fails than just these 3 items, but I decided to just show you guys these items because these were the worst in my opinion. I received all of my eyeliners with the strands completely frayed, but I feel like even if you didn't already get them frayed, it would be so easy for you to do it yourself. If you try to kind of poke it in a little bit too quick, they get caught and then they just stay like that, which I'm guessing is how it happened in the factory. They shoved them in there and then just sent them off on their way. The pigmentation on these were also so disappointing. It just really wasn't as vibrant as you would believe just based on what the outside color looks like. They were also really difficult to apply. The formula is so overly creamy that it just smeared everywhere. It transferred to my upper lid so quickly, I just had to kind of like prop my eyes down and just stay like that and fan them. And the worst part about these eyeliners for me is the crumbling. It will leave, you know, sparse areas of your liner, and the worst part is I got it in my eyes and I had the worst eye irritation I've ever gotten from anything makeup related. My whole eye went completely red. It was so itchy, my eyes were watering, and even when I took off my makeup, my entire eyelid space was red. It was so irritated. I had to just not wear makeup for a day after that in order to kind of let them go back to normal because it was bad. They were so itchy. I just wanted to kind of claw at my eyes. It burned and I had to wash it off because I just kept touching it and I was like, oh my god, this hurts. It was so and I'm not saying that that is gonna happen to everyone. That's just something I kind of wanted to mention, that it is very possible that you may use these and the crumbling that comes off of these liners may cause irritation in your eyes as it did for myself. The next item I have is the Revlon Colorstay Exactify Liquid Liner. This one retails for $11.99. So this one is not a fail, it is just kind of a regret. This is the one with a tiny little wheel applicator. And the reason I kind of regret this product is because it is, at first it is very fun to kind of play around with the little wheel. It's kind of cool to get used to and you're just like, wee! Bunch of lines, straight lines everywhere. But when you continuously use it, I mean, the fun kind of wears out a little bit. And then you realize that it is really difficult to maneuver this wand. It is just, it gives you a great sharp line at the edge, but then if you're trying to connect all the way across, it is very difficult. It does not exactly glide all the way across, and if you're trying to fill in, I mean, it is such a thin wheel, it takes a little bit to kind of fill in. And it is a lot more hassle than it is actually worth. And another reason that I do not enjoy it is that when it dries down, it is actually drying down to kind of a shiny latex looking liner. It was so awkward. I just kept looking at it. And in my personal opinion, that is not what I enjoy in a liner. I like a matte black liner. And this was just way too overly shiny. I wasn't a fan of it. It just didn't work out for me in the long run. It was fun at first, but then I was just kind of like, all right, I'm over it. Woo! So if you saw my thumbnail, this is the item you have been waiting for. This is the Almay Best Blend Forever Foundation. I have the shade 100 Porcelain, and here we have it. All I have to say is, what the, look at that applicator. So I used this foundation initially at first and then several times after that, and I just concluded to myself, you know, this is a foundation in which I personally do not enjoy. It does not suit well for oily skin types. It exaggerates everything of my oily skin. And it was just a no for me, so I used it several times and then I put the cap on, set it down where I keep all of my foundations, and I was waiting to put this in a favorites and fails video. And when I pulled it out today is when I saw the mold problem. And I want to give you guys a comparison of my Revlon Insta Filter foundation. This one has the same kind of sponge tip applicator. and there is no sign of mold or anything going wrong on this foundation sponge. And this one has no issues, whereas this one just completely exploded with mold. They have been kept in the same space, same room temp, same level of humidity in the house, and I just have no idea what happened because there are two of the same kinds. But that is one of the reasons in which when I review any kind of foundation and they have a sponge tip applicator like this, I do not like it. I, for that reason, feel like it gets very dirty, and mold does obviously grow on it. But that concludes my first ever monthly favorites and fails and regrets videos. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like it, share it, leave me a comment down below what your thoughts were of any of these products, including the mold problem. And if you have not subscribed already, be sure to do so before you leave. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!